Hello, my name's Roger. I go by Minister Peaceful Poet. I enjoy writing poetry. I've written a couple poems for Tulsi Gabbard. This is my Why Tulsi video. I joined the Navy back in 1977, and back then two things were very different than they are today. One was they hated us. They hated us really bad. It was just shortly after Vietnam. We had lost, and it was very disappointing, I guess, for the American people. And they took it out on us. They would spit at you, call you names, walk down the street, going back and forth to base, and they would throw bottles at you from their car. What I'm trying to say is, back then, the Vietnam vets, they couldn't survive out there in the civilian world. They were just like us. They were treated pretty badly. People would spit on them, call them names, throw bottles at them, try to pick fights with them, etc., etc. And nobody'd hire you. You were considered a loser. So a lot of them ended up coming back into the military because it was the only place that they knew. It was the only thing that they knew. So they came back into the military. And so I've known a lot of them. And it was really, they were broken people. And I've seen what war does to people. I'm one of the lucky ones who've never really seen war. Almost did, though. Made it all the way to Desert Storm, and I was in a CB battalion, and I still have the glasses that fit inside a gas mask, pretty cool glasses, because we were fixing to go. But it's probably the shortest war we ever had. I think it lasted a week. I'm not sure, I can't really remember. It was pretty short. But so anyways, there was this, we're going into Desert Storm, and everybody's just really excited, a lot of them young and they never seen war before, and they're like really excited that we're going to go into war, And there was this chief who'd been to Vietnam, and his hands were literally shaking. And people go, "No, what's wrong?" And he says, "You ain't seen war before. You don't know." He says, "It's bad. It's really bad." And of course, we were really lucky. It was an easy win because most of the people who we were fighting against just voluntarily just surrendered to our troops. Amazing, huh? Probably because they knew they'd be taken care of, unlike today where they have been tortured, which is really sad. That's another video, and I did make a video about that too, by the way. Our president was Bush Sr. Now, he was a veteran, and he was a war veteran. He's seen war. One of the very few presidents who have. And they asked him, look, okay, we won, great. Let's go into Baghdad and get Saddam Hussein and let's take him out. And he said no. He says, we did what we were going to do, let's go home. And that was the end of it. Now, because he knew what war does to people. The day after when we won, me and my wife, we would go out and we would give donuts and coffee to the homeless people in the park. And one of them happened to be a veteran, and he was so happy. He was just so happy. And he'd just been kicked out of his apartment because he couldn't pay the rent. But he didn't care. He didn't care. He was happy as could be. What we did have back then that we don't have today is a news media that told the truth. They would show you what we really did overseas. They would show us fighting and everything. And they would show you what was really going on in your country. Unlike today. Unlike today, where we're spending billions and billions of dollars on this military adventure. And there are people in this country who don't have sewage, who don't have proper running water. They drink dirty water and they don't have no sewage. Here in America, but you don't hear about it on TV. You might you might read it in an article in a magazine, maybe if you're lucky. But most of the information, the truth, what's going on in this world, you have to really search for it now. Can't even find it on a Google search anymore. You search Google and what pops up is they want to sell you something with mainstream media news that you can get right on TV. It's pretty bad. But anyways, so the reason I support Tulsi Gabbard is, again, I joined the Navy back in '77, and they really hated us back then. And the Vietnam vets had it really bad, and I can't really say that they had it really worse than the soldiers today have it, because today we seem to keep asking them to go back again and again and again and again, and they'll be lucky if they retire, you know, alive or sane or with all their pieces. It's really crazy what we're asking them of. And our sailors who go out to sea, they get stuck on ship. They don't ever get to go to shore. And some sailors are calling it a prison on water, because we're just overworking them. They hit shore, they might be there for a day, and they got to take off again. And they'll be out there for 30, 40, 50 days. So it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad on sailors too. I support Tulsi Gabbard because she's going to end these regime change wars. You have to realize that we're spending trillions of dollars on these regime change wars. And can you imagine what $1 trillion could do for the U.S. economy, could do for the homeless, could fix our sewers, we could fix our water, we could take care of the homeless. But there's a whole slew of things that we could do. We could fix this problem with global warming. We could fix all of these problems. Anyways, there's a fire burning, and it's getting higher and higher, and it's getting out of control, and eventually it's going to burn us up. And we see it, but we're not paying attention. We see it out of the corner of our eyes, but we're not paying no attention to it. Tulsi Gabbard would be, after Desert Storm, Tulsi Gabbard would have been a real hero. She would have been praised and everything. But today, it's like, anyways, I don't know how to explain this to you. I just don't know how to I wish I could. I wish I could just give you this flowery speech that would just get you all excited and everything. Yeah, I'll vote for Tulsi Gabbard. It's just basic common sense. Trillions of dollars being spent on these regime change wars. We can use this money at home, and there's only one person who's going to stop this, and her name is Tulsi Gabbard. That's why we got to support her. Peace and love. Bye.